Good afternoon, everyone. This is a beautiful day. For those of you who've been in Washington for the past few days, this is a spectacular and glorious day. It also happens to be Thomas Jefferson's birthday today. I know if George is in the audience, there he is. You know, yeah. My name is Ben Vinson. I'm the Dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences. I welcome all of you here today. I'd also like to acknowledge the presence of the Honorable former Secretary of the Army, Mr. Luis Caldera, who's also joined us this afternoon. As Dean of the Columbian College of Arts and Sciences, one of the things that we're tremendously proud of is to celebrate this two very special people, Gilbert and Jackie Cisneros, for their vision, their generosity, and their passion for improving the lives of Latino youth and families across the country. They're ensuring the strength, the vitality, and diversity in the future leadership of our nation. And we are delighted that the center of this noble undertaking, the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute, is right here at the George Washington University. Let me just say a couple of quick words about the Institute. It is really trying to do something that really is a challenge facing the nation, and that is dealing with the question and issue of undermatching. There are a number of individuals, talented Latino students throughout our country who do not see as part of their landscape the opportunity to study at a place like George Washington University and other highly selective institutions throughout the United States. And Gil may speak more about this later, but this is something that's at the heart of the Institute, and it is one of the reasons why it has come about. To bring greetings from our university's Board of Trustees, I'm delighted to welcome our chairman, Mr. Nelson Carbonella, to the podium.
Bienvenidos a todos. Es un orgullo estar aquí con ustedes en este día fabuloso. Me llamo Nelson Carbonella, and so Gil, what I said was, welcome to all of you. It's a pleasure to have you here. I looked up the translation for chairman of the board, and I got Presidente de la Junta, which didn't sound that good to me, so I kind of skipped that part. It's really a great pleasure to be here with Gil and Jackie, and our deepest gratitude to you for what you're doing. It's just been a fantastic day so far, and a real celebration of the commitment that you've made to GW. I myself am proud to be a Latino. I can say that Latino is this word that people throw around. We're from many different countries, many different races, religions, backgrounds. We're knit together by a beautiful language that some of us actually still speak, okay? But the food's awesome, and the family is really what makes it work. And I'm very proud to be from that heritage. But it's not all good news. Our communities are challenged, and our young people are challenged. And I think what Gil and Jackie are doing is just a wonderful leg up that I wish I had had when I was in high school. And the notion that we're going to go to high school students and really give them a taste of what they could do. I was fortunate that I had a high school guidance counselor who picked me out of the crowd and helped me. But many of us don't have those benefits. So I think today we come to celebrate, but starting tomorrow, we get to work. And I think Gil and Jackie, we couldn't be prouder to have you here with us today, and with this wonderful gift and this wonderful center. From the bottom of my heart, muchísimas gracias. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Now, in addition to their philanthropy establishing the Cisneros Institute, Gil and Jackie are also benefactors of the Cisneros Scholars program, which identifies and supports talented young leaders at GW. So I'm pleased to introduce today two of our Cisneros Scholars who would like to offer a few words, Guillermo Martinez and Avenida Castro.
Hello, my name is Avenida Castro, and I am a sophomore at the George Washington University, majoring in Human Services and Social Justice. When I first found out about the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute, I contacted everybody I knew in admissions and all of my professors to figure out how I can become involved in this much-needed initiative here on campus. To my surprise, a couple of weeks later, I found out I was actually selected to be one of the incoming scholars for part of GW's first cohort. Through this institute, I had the privilege of meeting other students and faculty who want to give back to the Latino community while also learning more about different DC-based organizations like the Washington Office on Latin America and tomorrow's event with Excelencia in Education. I thank the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute for opening the doors to more opportunities to become more involved in the Latino community on campus and in the city. With my scholarship, I have been able to focus more on my studies and was able to devote more time to extracurricular activities. I interned with the League of United Latin American Citizens, the nation's largest Latino civil rights organization, and I helped plan our school's first Cesar Chavez Day celebration this past March 31st. I am happy for all of the opportunities this scholarship has introduced me to, and I am excited to see our first cohort of freshman students reap the benefits of this program this upcoming fall as well. Thank you.
I'm a little taller, so. Okay, I first want to thank Mr. and Mrs. Cisneros for the invitation and for giving me a chance to talk a little bit about what the Institute has meant to me, both professionally and personally. So my name is Guillermo Martinez. I am a junior in the Colombian College of Arts and Sciences, double majoring in political science and political communication. I was born and raised in San Juan, Puerto Rico, where I went to a relatively large Spanish-speaking school. And ever since I was in the 3rd grade, I knew that I wanted to pursue an education where it would provide me with opportunities to further my professional growth. And GW has provided me with that opportunity. My situation, however, changed last year. As most of you probably know, Puerto Rico is currently facing the greatest financial crisis in 40 years, and it has taken a direct toll on my family and many of my friends. I specifically remember that last year, while I was working as a summer RA here at GW and interning in Congress, I was talking to my mom on the phone about the worsening financial situation back home and how we were going to have to make some adjustments if my financial package went down. And 2 days later, I received an email that I was selected as a Cisneros Scholar. At first, I couldn't believe it, but I can honestly say that this award came at the right moment. Thanks to the generosity of Mr. and Mrs. Cisneros, I have been able to focus on my academic and professional development without making my financial situation the sole and primary consideration when evaluating my next step. Thanks to the Institute, I have also been exposed to wonderful leaders and innovators in diverse fields that have given me great advice on how to seek opportunities, how to make the right connections, and how to be successful in general. But most importantly, the Institute has prepared me to understand how I can use my academic background, as well as the professional opportunities I've been fortunate enough to take advantage of, to identify and work with young students who have the potential to do great things, but do not necessarily receive the sort of institutional, financial, and personal support that is needed for them to reach their full potential. The Institute has been pivotal in my own professional development, but it has also reminded me every single day that we must do what we can to help those who come after us. I hope that we can all continue to expand this great program and work together to foster the next generation of Hispanic students at GW. I will be there to help. Thank you.
I'm a little bit shorter. And now it is my great pleasure to introduce the 16th president of the George Washington University, Stephen Knapp.
I guess I'm about the same height. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure. Thank you, Dean Vincent, and it really is a pleasure to be here. And I think if anyone had any question about whether the generosity of Gil and Jackie Cisneros would help us to attract and support the future leaders, not only of the Hispanic community, but of this nation, I think what you've just heard from Abril and from Guillermo would lay that to rest, because we obviously have tremendously talented students who can benefit from this program, from the support that the Cisneros have already provided. You know, I had an occasion many times in the past to talk about why it's so important for a university like ours to be involved in exactly this kind of effort. And it has to do not just with our interest as an institution in having a diverse student body in which students learn from each other. That's one of the tremendous advantages that we have from the kind of diversity that we're able to build on our campus here. It's not only for that reason, but it's also because for the benefit of our nation, for the sake of our nation as a whole, for the sake of our democracy, we have to have a situation in which everyone in our society perceives that the opportunities provided for them by institutions like this are available to everyone. And that has to be not just a reality, but it has to be a visible reality. And the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute is one of the most powerful ways in which we can make that statement to the world beyond the walls of our campus. So I'm delighted that we've reached this stage. We were talking earlier today about the long process of discussion that led up to this, and what I have to say about it was what really has impressed me throughout has been the tremendous amount of thought, not only passion and vision, but very careful reasoning and planning that has been at the core of the way Gil and Jackie have been thinking about this project since its inception. This is really their vision that we are delighted to house here on our campus, right here in the heart of our campus. And so, without further ado, I'd like to turn the microphone over to tremendous leaders themselves in this nation and generous friends and supporters, as well as an alumnus of the George Washington University, Gil and Jackie Cisneros.
First, I want to thank Dean Vincent and President Knapp for their kind words. And I'd like to thank everybody who's out here today for coming out to support us in what we're trying to do. When I first came to D.C., I was 17 years old. I was selected out of pretty much everybody in my high school to participate in this week-long program where we spent time on the Hill and we got to meet some congressmen. We met a couple ambassadors. We toured and went to the FBI building and, you know, stopped at the Pentagon and pretty much did all the touristy stuff here in D.C. that you would do. For me, it was an amazing trip. You know, it was the first time I had actually ever left California. It was really only the second time I'd ever been on a plane. We actually stayed at Mount Vernon College, which is now the Mount Vernon campus. And I actually remember driving down 23rd Street and passing George Washington University as on our way to, like, go down to the mall in the Lincoln Memorial to go and visit some of the memorials. That first trip to Washington was a life-changing event for me. It got me out of my comfort zone. It opened me up to a world of a whole bunch of whole new possibilities. It made me think about places to visit and see, things I could do. You know, before this experience, I never really thought about college much, let alone going to college on the East Coast. You know, I didn't know anybody who did that. You know, I barely knew anybody who actually went to college, let alone, you know, travel abroad in a different state to go to college. This trip, that first trip gave me the confidence to start thinking out of the box. Before my trip, like I said, never would have ever imagined that. But unfortunately, 25 years later, not many things have changed. Many kids are still not realizing the capacity of their full potential. And more times than not, they end up settling for something less. Carolyn Hawksby, who's a Stanford professor, did a study that found more than half of academically qualified low-income students, highly academic qualified low-income students, were actually undermatching. It says they're going to schools that they were actually overqualified for. There's another study that showed 44% of Latinos are more than likely to undermatch, which is the highest among any ethnic group. You know, while you think they would breeze through school, you know, hey, I'm going to a school that I'm overqualified for, it should be a lot easier. It's actually the opposite actually happens. More times than not, they end up dropping out and actually not finishing and getting a degree at all. One reason for creating the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute was to give students an opportunity like I had when I was a young 17-year-old. We want to take young Latino students out of their comfort zone, bring them to the nation's capital, give them an experience they might not have ever imagined, give them the experience of living on a college campus, where we work with them on study skills, time management, teach them leadership skills. But also more important is we want to teach them to be leaders. The most important thing, though, is we want to encourage them to reach their full potential, and we want them to attend a selective university that is befitting of their academic achievements and their capabilities. Then we're going to fly their parents out and explain to them why we need to do that as well, or why they should attend a selective university as well. So we ask, why are selective universities so important? Well, one reason, student is likely to receive more resources at a selective university, more opportunity. They're likely to graduate and have a more higher earning potential, greater networking opportunities. But most important, the data shows that if you attend a selective university, you're more likely to graduate and with a degree. When we started working on the Institute, we would tell people what we were doing. And I often get asked, well, why DC? My thought was always, why would you have it anywhere else? This is our nation's capital. Decisions are made here that on a daily basis that affect the world. The city's full of history, and there's a vast pool of individuals that we can draw from, to help us groom our young leaders. We could have done it in a more urban or another urban area with a large Hispanic population and served kids in that specific area. But, my feeling was that would have been like, clipping their wings of a bird. We want to bring these kids from around the country and let them interact with each other. Learn about the various Latino communities. Let them spread their wings and soar in an environment that is not only new, but exciting, and also has much more to offer them than any other place. And the George Washington University is a great place to do that. As the top university that sits right here in the nation's capital. From here, the students can have access to the entire city. But I also chose GW for selfish reasons. GW is my alma mater. And this place is very important to me. It'll forever be a part of me, and the university I am a part of the university. George Washington had a dream of a national university, and that is why this university bears his name and why it was created. And as a nation's university, as I often say this is, I have always felt that GW needed to be more reflective of the country's population. So while the ultimate goal is for students to complete the summer program, to attend a selective university somewhere in the country, my hope is that a lot of them will fall in love with GW like I did and make the decision to come here. The Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute is just not about grooming high school students, though. The goal is for one day to be a top research institute with a national reputation. We want to hold events that will bring scholars and other individuals from around the country to speak on topics that affect the Hispanic community. We want to be a national think tank for the Hispanic community. But most important, the Institute will also have an active presence on the campus of GW for the students. We will provide scholarships, give students a safe place to come together, not only to study, but also to build friendships, work to become leaders of tomorrow. We will get them involved in campus life, which data shows also increases graduation rates. To put it simply, our institute will be a home away from home for these students, which is something I wish I had when I was here. So, again, thank you very much for coming, and as they say, the last thing I have to say, as always, is raise high. Thank you.
At this time, I'd like to invite all of our program participants today to join me as we step to the ribbon and officially launch the Cisneros Hispanic Leadership Institute at the George Washington University. Please.
These are real citizens.
Okay, excuse me.
Sorry. You are pressing that. If you all could step forward, please.